Alright folks, here we go. Game number 3, the final battle between sixjaxViBE, this time spawning down in the bottom left position against Destiny, currently freelancing down here in the bottom right, Zerg versus Zerg. This has been one heck of a best of 3 match series. This, of course, is part of the G3 Starcraft 2 Pro-Am tournament, which I did find out a correction to game number 1 where I mentioned the prize. First place is actually $4,725. Second place, $3,150. Third and fourth also have cash prizes as well. And I understand that Asus is actually providing some hardware too. So pretty awesome stuff there. Looking forward to seeing what these guys bring to the table on Shakura's Plateau, one of the more macro-ish macaroni maps. We'll call it a macaroni map here in the rotation for this particular tournament. And with both of these guys spawning on the bottom side, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring to the table, you know. They're not as far as they could be with cross positions, so I don't know. We'll have to see. It looks like a drone is going to be heading out here. It's going to be a scout. And, of course, both players actually realizing that one another is in this position right here. He is actually bringing over the scout back right now to go back mining at least for a little while here. Again, now that he's realized his opponent's over there, no real reason to send that out, at least for the time being, because, I mean, hey, you can park that Overlord over here, get an idea what's going on, and yeah, do a little dance party. Woo! Alright, so 15 supply, each sending out a drone over here to the natural. Destiny, of course, doing a little dance that drones do, and his will be going down second. Oh, so very close, but that wouldn't really matter at this point in the game. I'm going to be looking for a nice long macro game from these players. Like I said, the map lends itself well to that, and the fact that both of these players are going ahead with that hatchery first indicates that we're not going to be looking at super early pressure. You see, ViBE got that gas going down before the pool. Both players continuing to drone up, actually doing identical builds with this pool just going down ever so slightly after Destiny's. Still, not that big of a deal. You can see 15-16 right now. Of course, APN at this point in the game, as I pointed out earlier, sixjaxViBE does like to go with that keeping his hands warm early on in that series, actually keeping it around 400 or so. Pretty impressive. Looking forward to the day when we actually see that in standard play. Ooh, maybe when some of those Brood War greats come over, we'll see something along those lines. Not to say these players are not very skilled, I have to say. So far, in particular, I have enjoyed watching Destiny's live stream. For those of you who do not know, he does have a live stream, which I will actually put a link to that in the video video description, so you can check that out. But I mean, most of you probably already know about it, so who am I kidding, right? Seriously though, Destiny, awesome player. ViBE, you know, really, I just don't know a lot about ViBE so far, other than just the fact that he's a member of Sixjax, you know, with Artosis. And, yeah, so I'm just looking forward to a great showing here, kind of a first impression for me with ViBE, and, yeah, all-around good times are had so far in this match series. I have to say, I've been very impressed with the play for both players so far. Game number 1 was just back and forth, intense matchup on Xel'Naga Caverns. Game number 2, a little bit quicker. But, yeah, so here we are, game number 3, looking at Destiny's build. You see he's going ahead getting a Baneling Nest, and he is also not getting the Zergling speed. So I'm kind of wondering what he's going to be doing here. He could get some Banelings in here, but not having that speed will make it a little bit more of a travel time to get across the map for those Zerglings, which you actually see both players sitting out the Zerglings right now. I think Destiny just barely caught wind of those two heading over to his natural right now, but he's got a Spine Crawler up. I mean, really, it should be more than fine. He is going to go ahead and drop down a Roach Warren just for good measure. I think that's a very good idea there as well. I mean, hey, going into this expansion around the 5-minute mark, he's going to have plenty of minerals. Looking at the income tab, you can see 22 to 17. So he has actually, ViBE has actually cut some drones over here in favor of getting those speedlings out just a little bit earlier and possibly putting a stop to this expansion. Like I said, there is one Spine Crawler here, and now we're seeing what I was kind of thinking we were seeing, but I wasn't sure about it. Kind of defensive Banelings. I think it's a very good call, Destiny having these. He should be able to catch these Zerglings if he decides to actually go up with them. But look at this. So many Banelings coming over here for ViBE as well. This is going to be a very interesting play. I do want to point out that ViBE was able to morph these in just out of range of any Overlords. Of course, we don't have a whole lot of Overlords spread at this point, but still, there are a couple littered around the map. Here we go. Banelings trying to get over here and catch the drone line. Will they be able to do it? Oh, one more explosion! So many drones just going down a second or two ago. Wow, look at that. 8 workers killed so far, as the last one gets mopped up by a few Zerglings, which are now running in here and getting that crucial scouting information. Going to spot, okay, Baneling Nest, Roach Warren. I already knew about the Baneling Nest. Now, with the Roaches here as well, making sure nothing else kind of shady is going on. So, income now, 18 to 30, folks. This is a good spot for ViBE. Losing those so many drones so early, not something you want to have happen at all. That is really killer for your economy. But it's still early in the game. Destiny can certainly come back from this. Not a massive loss there, just very, very undesirable. Looking around at ViBE's base, you can see he is just going to go ahead and continue to drone up. Look, a few roaches thrown in the mix as well. There's that second gas going down here, and we're around the 8-minute mark, so it might be around time soon here to go into Tier 2. We'll kind of get an idea of see exactly what he wants to do in the coming moments. In the meantime, Destiny over here taking out the depot. Good stuff there, and yeah, look, everything's looking pretty calm on the eastern front. Still sitting on 1 gas right now. A few more Zerglings coming over here. They're just going to pop up, see if they can find any information. Almost had a complete block with the Roaches. Unfortunately, the Zergling is going to get around there. Spinecrawler, able to pick it off at the last second. Did not need to, or did not accidentally lose a Baneling. Very good control there by Destiny. Evolution Chamber and Spinecrawler going down up here, making a nice partial wall for the natural expansion. Good positioning on that one. Gas going down. Looking here, we do have him well on his way into Tier 2. Yep, like I said, I saw that gas earlier. Kind of knew that was coming any time now. So I'm really wondering if we're just going to go ahead and see this come and become Roach Wars again. The indications are there. I mean, you saw both players got the Roach Warrens. We got the missile attack level 1 on the way. Minerals, gas income, everything pretty much reflects that. Oh, that poor Roach right there. 75 minerals, 25 gas down the drain, possibly in the name of scouting. We will never know, though. Speaking of scouting, let's actually just take a look at what each player actually sees with the Overlords littered around the map. Destiny has a couple Overlords parked back here. ViBE is hoping to pick one off, but obviously not the case. And ViBE, you can see he's got pretty good scouting information as well. Most of his are in a line around here, whereas Destiny, you can kind of see he's got them a little bit more spread out. So he will know if anything is coming in from the rear. He's got this Overlord that he's going to be able to sacrifice at some point, and an infestation pit going down. So I think this time ViBE is doing a very good thing. We saw in game number 1 where he got that infestation pit a little bit later than he really would have liked to. Then again, Destiny's harassment on those expansions going 1 for 1 the entire time, so very good. The fact that Destiny was able to hold his expansion though, and keep it after a couple back and forths, really I think helped propel him forward there in the game. The fact that he was able to get out those infestors so much earlier than his opponent really snowballed later on. I think in the end he ended up having like 12 or 15 or something like that. A good old chunk of infestors there. But more importantly, we do have both players expanding up here to the north of each base. That's looking pretty good. Not expecting any sort of aggression from either player there. And now we have the creep highways starting to spread right here. Just trying to get it up to the expansion, up to the north. And other than that, not a lot of creep spread, actually. Then again, not really that important. This is very important, though. Destiny throwing down a Contaminate on the infestation pit, delaying the pathogen glands, and therefore actually delaying, at least partially, some of the infestors. Of course, those ones that are going to pop out now should not come out with that extra energy. That is certainly going to throw off ViBE a little bit there. But we see, speaking of ViBE, let's actually look at the income for both players. We can see that ViBE has a little bit better in terms of the minerals. Same on the gas, about 6 harvester difference there. Actually, ironically enough, that's about what it turned out to earlier on in the game from those Banelings. I think it was 8 killed total. But still, all in all, very close game. Both players have a nice little ball of roaches there, a couple infestors as well. Of course, these infestors did not pop out with that extra energy, but all in all, pretty good. Drone transfer for Destiny looking good. ViBE got working on gas as well. You can see the income has actually evened out on the minerals and the gas, so oh well, going up for the ViBE for the gas, of course, with those 2 additional geysers down there or up at the north. But Weapons 1 is complete. APM still pretty high, although you can see how ViBE, now that he's kind of getting into the game, it was full, but his actual APM is around 200 or so, 175. Moving out, is he actually going to be able to do anything, though? That's going to be the question. I think he's probably just going to guard for a little bit, as there's not a lot that he can really do, considering the fact there's essentially a mirror army over here with a decent bit more energy than his opponent. Because, like I said, that upgrade was not delayed like his infestation pit was. So looking pretty good here. Weapons 2 is on the way, and I'm going to expect to see probably hang out for a little while longer. Actually, not too much action to be had. Mainly because when you look at the armies here, really, what are they going to do? There's nice creep spread. You see, he's got several spine crawlers. He could decide to Nidus. That would actually be interesting if he actually got a Nidus worm in here. But with some nice creep spread around here, he's going to be able to react very quickly and deal with any sort of threats that may come into the mineral line. Mutas, I would really say not going to see that. Again, fungal growth, so devastating. You don't want to make a giant ball Mutas and then have it just gone in 2 seconds. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what we're going to have here. We can see a whole slew of stuff is on the way. And actually, for every few seconds you look at it, it kind of mirrors each other. Both of them getting Burrow, Weapons 2, Infestors, Overlords. Both of them getting a Hydralist in. It's quite literally a mirror matchup so far here today on Shakuras Plateau, which we do have Destiny with another Overlord over here. Again, he knows that expansion's there. We'll take a look at the vision now. Look at this. This is another reason why you're not seeing a whole lot in the way of harassment. Both players have so many Overlords around here that it is just impossible to actually get any sort of sneaky attacks going on. Destiny, of course, has a little bit less. Still, you look at the map overall, there's plenty of information to be had. Both players will know with relatively good timing if anything is actually going to be coming, though. Nice spread here by Vibe. You can see it's very nice indeed. We're going to be limiting the damage that Fungals will do. That one, a little bit thick, but that's okay. Over here, Destiny, you see, is a little bit more bunched up. Nice solid amount of Infestors, though. Popping off that overseer. It's going to be 50 minerals, 150 gas down the drain. Not that huge of a loss with the energy, though. You see a couple of them really low. Rest of them, not so much. Oh, what is this, Vibe? What are you doing? You've got the Nidus worm up in here. This is what I was hoping we were going to see, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. Let's see, where is it? It's, so concentration right there. And here we go, popping into the northeastern position. Several roaches going to be actually doing a pretty heavy amount of damage to these drones. Took 1 or 2 seconds to get those out of there, but whoa! What is this? There's so many Overlords around the map. I have to kind of guess where we're looking at here. Most likely spots. So sure enough, catching those Hydras, couple extra drones off guard, and Destiny looking to wrap up this attack. Manages to save the hatchery. Down here, on the other hand, though, you see roaches. It was a good distraction. I think he was kind of hoping that more of the army would be committed up here to the north. But, yeah, overall, that was pretty interesting to watch. Almost took out that expansion. Almost. So very close. I wonder if this is going to lead to either player actually doing anything about the Overlords on the middle of the map, though. I mean, they are everywhere, and so yeah, take those out. Wouldn't be that big of an issue with the Nidus worms popping up. But we see here the roaches are going to be heading out right into the static defenses. Cannot fungal those, obviously. Look at this nice split with the infestors. Here come the roaches, followed by the hydras, doing tons of damage. Destiny with a fantastic position here. He is getting fungal, though. So even though he is outnumbered, or even though he does outnumber his opponent, rather, he is still going to suffer extremely heavy casualties. With all the fungal going down, look at that. All that is left is just several infestors, a little bit of energy. That's about it. These infested Terrans have never looked so good to Destiny, as he is hoping that they will be able to hold off the Hydras at least for a little while. Oh, man. What is he going to be able to do now? These Hydras coming up into possibly the natural expansion, and where we see a few of Destiny's own Hydras are here, and we do hear another Nidus worm. Don't see anything down here. Looks like they're streaming in from the north part of the base. Roaches coming in here, hoping to finish off this hatchery and sealing the deal on the income. Fortunately for Destiny, he was able to fend off that assault at the natural that was delaying him for so long. And wow, look at the income now. You can see it is definitely down and out just a little bit here, but whew, even though those drones are working roughly the same pace, I think they were actually transferring there. But yeah, you can see both players actually running on 4 base right now. I would not expect to see either player go for one of these anytime soon. Possibly one of these. Thing that popped up. Okay, there we go. Yep, Nidus Swarm going up. Not gonna be having any effect on the game though. Had the units there just in the nick of time. Now, let's look at the units lost as a result of these crazy shenanigans. You can see that ViBE has definitely suffered the greater of the two in terms of resources lost. As far as the actual army size go, you can see that the Destiny is actually pretty high up on the tech compared to his opponent, mostly attributed to, I believe, the superior infestors and the Hydras. Of course, we can actually just look at the units tab and see that. But look at the Broodlords coming, man. You can see ViBE is going to be looking to switch up the strategies here in just a moment. Destiny throwing down several spine crawlers, again relying on the static defenses to hold him over down at the entrance to the natural expansion. As we see, his own Greater Spire is on the way. He's getting several Corruptors. Very smart move there. Now let's actually take a look and see what he spots. You can see he spots this expansion. He knows everything's already here. And the defenses, he sees the Nidus Worm. Does he see the Spire, though? No, he does not. Ooh, man. I'm pretty sure it's just the game sense, though, that he knows it's there. He's going to have to plan for it. And several Corruptors are on the way. We'll see if he actually leaves those as Corruptors, or if he decides to try to make them into his own Broodlords. That would be kind of interesting. I would expect that he would wait, at least before turning all of them into, wait until he sees what his opponent has, at least for his tiny bit of scouting. A couple Overlords are pretty close to one another. You see that Destiny spots those two Broodlords, and so he might not turn all of them. He is making 6 of them, though. He will have plenty of Hydras, so that's good. You know, if you can get him in there close enough, pretty darn effective against them. And another Nidus. Where is that one? Okay, that one, guess that was right there. Going down. Probably trying to buy some time so that way ViBE can come down here and do some damage to very heavy concentration of the spine crawlers. But we see the roaches coming down here to try to take a lot of this damage. Maybe he's going to throw, some infested Terrans directly underneath them. It'd be pretty hard to retreat from this. Oh, this is just asking for fungal growth right here. We see it going down on both armies. Very nice indeed. Here comes Destiny's Broodlords now getting into the fray, holding back some of these roaches, at least for the time being. He is quite vulnerable to fungal, as you see it goes down. Once again, ViBE burrowing his roaches, getting directly underneath them and taking out a ton of units. Wow, what a play. You see Destiny actually has several infestors burrowed under here as this messy attack finally gets wrapped up by Destiny's Broodlords. You see that ViBE just did not have anything to clean it up there, so ended up in a pretty good spot, suffering, both players suffering pretty heavy losses. Let's actually just spot that super quick. Do you like how, oh, whoa, hold on. We have another Nidus Swarm coming up here. This patrolling roach just barely out of range of the Nidus, so we're going to see that pop up. Let's see what's actually going to come out of here in just a second. See several units heading over to it. Mini roaches, right side, and this is where it's going to happen. Several drones going down right off the bat. Just watch the units lost as this takes place. Even brought a queen over here. You see it fully loaded with energy. She will be able to transfuse many times. Oh, but not if she's taken down first. Good night. And will this hatchery go down? Yeah, I think this should go down. 34-15, 2, and escape. Clean getaway for sixjaxViBE. Looking at the workers lost now, you can see 3-21. Look at the units lost so far as we do approach the 26-minute mark here. 144 to 208. As far as income goes, both players hovering within about 300-400 of each other. This, of course, will change once these drones start working on full swing here. Destiny going to have to continue to expand. He's got to get this expansion back, though. He does have a sizable army. Both of them, actually, 200 out of 200. Very impressive, recovering so quickly. I mean, but if you look at the money in the bank right now, both of them can reproduce their armies without too much difficulty, at least part of it there. We are going to have to worry about a little bit of creep for Destiny, as he is going to be losing those if he doesn't do something about it. But yeah, here we go, an Overlord coming on its way down as we speak. He is moving to take out this expansion. Very solid play. In my opinion, I think this could definitely... Oh, here we go, getting caught by ViBE. This attack will not go down. Solid catch at the last second by those roaches. Superior firepower. You see 2-3 upgrades there, 1-2 on these roaches. Destiny a little bit behind on those upgrades. He has been forced to dedicate so much extra money to getting his units and his tech and everything as defense that he has not been able to quite follow the upgrades. But here we go, Destiny actually trying to do several infested Terrans, maybe take out this hive so very close. Not actually sure it's going to be able to. So very close. Yeah, nope. Transfuse. No, not going to happen. Those two Marines 1 and dead. A good attempt, though. Very solid attempt, as his drones are not working. What are they doing? What actually are these drones doing? I think they're following one that's mining. That's actually pretty hilarious. I'm not going to lie. I mean, oh man, that just chuck that one up to bad luck, man. Even, you know, even the top gamers have stuff like that happen sometimes. It's just the way it goes. But more importantly, another Knight is coming down here. Several Roaches in the main base for Destiny. Looks like he's going to catch him a little bit off guard. You see his units way out of position over here, not able to do any defense. Oh, several Roaches actually coming and trying to maybe block off the ramp. I don't know, but he is going to come back and take out some of the key tech production facilities. Another Nidus network coming up here in the top right position. This will be a good spot to head into, although this Roach might take it down beforehand. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think it's going to take it down. One more bar, 20 and dead. Very nice play by Destiny, all the while taking out this expansion with several infestors. Very nicely handled. The man... Both of these guys can be considered as the man here, as they have just gone back and forth. Another Nidus that was right here by ViBE coming into the top right expansion, again trying to deny any sort of economic advantage that Destiny might try to get. But you know, the fact that he's been able to hold this expansion up here for so long has just really worked in his favor big time. Destiny was able to stop this expansion from going down, but still, we see that up here running on 2 bases right now. And now the Roach is going to be coming down and nailing Destiny's final place of income. Will he be able to do it? He is susceptible to the fungal growth right there, which we see more infestors coming over here. Is he going to actually try to take out this hive again with so many Roaches committed to the defense of this base, though? I don't know how effective it will actually be. I think Destiny kind of has an idea of what's going on, and so not going to be letting that happen. Another Nidus is on the way. I think it's right here. Yeah, he is just making Destiny run circles. This is just craziness right here at its finest. Couple of Broodlords coming in here at the main base. Again, pretty good defense against his defensive Terrans for at least a while. Oh no, the Greater Spire is going to be going down, denying the upgrade, denying the tech. That is a pretty substantial loss there. Oh wow, further pushed ahead by the loss of the key structure. Oh no. Destiny, I'm not sure if he is going to be able to really come back from this. He has just lost so much mining time. He's lost so much tech now that it's going to be really difficult for him. You see, he is trying with the infested Terrans, was able to almost take out, yeah, he took out one Broodlord, I think maybe two, but over here we have another Nidus in the natural expansion to the northeastern position. Roach is taking out several drones. Looking at the units lost, you can see 22 to 51 going up by the second, as these Roaches are just a foot away from escape, but I don't think they're going to make it there. Nope, all of them dying. Very bloody death. As Destiny continues here on the defense, he just cannot withstand the back and forth Nidus play that we're seeing ViBE distribute here on the map in generous quantities. Whew, man, I have to say, oh, here we go. One infested Terran popping up, doing any damage that he can. Destiny hoping to possibly at least delay the army moving out for the moment. He does have a 185 army compared to 187. The difference is his opponent is going to be in a much better position to reproduce that army very quickly should he lose this initial fight. That's the really key thing here. So Destiny probably just looking to try to keep some sort of income presence here, which is growing increasingly difficult with the map presence that ViBE has currently. Moving out, he is taking double expansions right now, compared to Destiny taking this expansion right here. Nice fungal landing on top of all of the air units by Destiny, and Infested Terrans hoping to pick those off. Another great fungal here. This is actually going to keep a lot of ViBE's units out of the fight, at least for a little while, and limit his own Infester's ability to catch these Hydras. But you see he is moving in for the kill, folks. This is really not looking good, as, like I said before, ViBE able to do tons of damage and reproduce his army so very quick. Look at Destiny's minerals right now. So much gas, so few minerals, and that is going to be that for that attack. You see, actually, even the Broodlords just continuing to help wrap up Destiny, of course, with a couple Hydras inside of an Overlord here. I guess I was actually trying to save those at the last second. Maybe going for some sort of, nope, okay, no. I was going to try to drop those in the main. Not the case, though. ViBE just wraps up this attack, man, ever so slowly. He's down to very few units. A couple Broodlords for Destiny, keeping them busy. In the meantime, though, We see Vi bringing over a few more Infestors and several more units coming from Destiny over at his northeastern expansion. Pushing him back once again. Vi just not quite able to get and maintain that foothold that he desires oh so much. He has, like I said, he's got a great economy, but look at the mineral, look at that. There's just, oh wow, the minerals and gas, absolutely hilarious. So we're going to expect to see a lot of low-tier units coming from Vibe. Roaches would definitely be the name of the game. Zerglings as well, possibly. If for hit and run, maybe using the Roaches to hit one base, Zerglings to get into the mineral line of another and call it good. But Destiny does not want his opponent to have this income at all. It is so crucial that he denies that. And of course, he did try to attack both at once. Unfortunately, there were Roaches at one. He was able to take out this expansion, though, but at what cost? We see he's going to lose some more of those Hydras here. He cannot afford to lose a lot of units right now. Corruptor's taken out. Oh, wow, look at that. You see the corruption on both of the Broodlords. Last one going down now. As we look at the units lost now, you can see 34,000 to 41,000. Very, very close. He was able to take out this expansion, though. Have to say, very impressive. He reinforced that just a little bit with a few more Roaches coming in at the last second, denying the income. And now Destiny does have his own base working up here. He's going to be hard-pressed to defend it, though. Several Roaches coming in here from the bottom. I do not know if... Yep, okay, so there we go. That one Corruptor actually able to take out that Broodlord. That Broodlord would have been pretty important, but like I said, man, so many Roaches. There's the GG. Concluding this best-of-3 match series between two of the Zerg Giants here in this tournament. sixjaxViBE versus Destiny. Great best-of-3 match series. Congratulations to both of the players for a very exciting matchup. sixjaxViBE coming out in this qualifying round. Let's go on to another series and see what happens next. Again, thank you to GeForce, Aces for hosting this tournament, all that good stuff. And thank you for the Game Station for bringing out the casters. All right, guys, let's go on.